Hey, it's rainy and overcast here, and I stepped outside, and it was chillier than I had expected. So, I don't like that idea for it being just about summer, right? The kids are done school for the year until the fall, and but the weather just doesn't seem right to me. So, grab your coffee or tea and come hang out with me because I want to talk about something that um, it really hits, and it can still be confusing for people. So recently, I have been talking to you guys about being intentional, about checking ourselves before we wreck ourselves, and because we can very easily react in a way to something that we might not have intended to react that way. It may be how we the mood that we were in at the point in time that we heard something. Sometimes we need to just listen and then take a moment before we respond. That happens quite often, and I know it happened to me this morning with something I was dealing with. So taking that time, again, check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. But also, what I wanted to say is, it really is. So today, reading Proverbs 18, and I had shared about that. So this is where this all ties together. And so Proverbs 18:20 this morning. So wise words, this is 18:20, was wise words satisfy like a good meal, and the right words bring satisfaction. And they do. When somebody tells you and says something and they have the right words, when they say it, it comes across so much better, right? Than maybe just a off the knee-jerk reaction. And that may not have been what they had intended. But when you have the right words coming across in the right heart, when somebody's in the right heart posture, it makes all the difference. So that's what I wanted to just say about that. And then Proverbs 21, 18:21 was the tongue can bring death or life. Those who love to talk will reap the consequences. And that's true. The consequences they could be good, they could be bad, they could be ugly, or they could be beautiful. So just thinking of that, there are consequences. They're not just to our actions, I share about that all the time. Our choices and decisions that we make can define or design our destiny. Well, the choices that we choose to make or decisions that we make to say certain words, and when we're in a certain emotional state, or just a knee-jerk reaction and not taking time to let what you heard process and then think about what you're going to say as a reply. So that's where I wanted to add to the conversation recently I had with you guys about checking ourselves before we wreck ourselves, because we can very easily reply or um, use words that could be taken not the way we had intended. Okay, risers. Until next time, I always give tips, tools, and tactics and show up authentically. And I put my foot in my own mouth this morning, and it was with a family member. So, and it's again, it was just a knee jerk thing of my reply when I hadn't taken everything into consideration. Authentically me, that's what it is. So I share with those things to help others so that you don't have to go through those things, right? Okay, until next time, continue to rise above the challenges that life bring your way, and have a great day.